Hi, I'm Sally with Commerce, and the Snohomish WDC office, Sue Ambler's here today representing them. They have purchased Salesforce, which is a CRM tool, and Commerce has purchased Salesforce. I don't know that we're going to be able to talk yet, but I think the goal at the end of the day is to be able to work on projects together and share information like that. So we'll see how that works.
And the Economic Alliance has the access to our Salesforce as well, and they were part of the development of all of that.
Hi, Steve Gerritsen with Enterprise Seattle. Just a comment about Salesforce. I know that there are other organizations that are requiring other forms of other types of software. So I think it would be nice if we could all get together and pick one and all use it. That would be great. My question is this: You've obviously done a great job of coordinating your efforts. Has this increased your administrative costs at all, and has it led to any threats of reduction in your funding anywhere?
It has decreased. So in the past, we employed a full-time business outreach person, and the EDC in Clark County employed a full-time business outreach person, or business retention expansion. Ted did the same, and we had a person in Cowlitz County originally. So no, we have collapsed. After those people did their jobs together for a while, when one of them left in Clark County, it became really clear that one person could do this job for both entities, that they'd been together enough that they were singing the same tune. Having said that, I also need to say that it's really important to get just the right people, because we've been doing this about 5 years now, but it's only really been, I'd say, in the last 2 years that we've had really seen great results from this. So it has to be people who really understand the value proposition of what we're offering businesses collectively and individually, and someone at the EDC level who doesn't think that workforce thing is just, another pot of money and to pacify them, but really sees that we can make beautiful music together. And those are kind of rare people. So, and we're blessed to have 2 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a real testament to Bonnie and Mary in my office, who are willing to have a business card that has 2 sides. One has the EDC and one has workforce. And some people just aren't comfortable with that. And so, it's really, kudos to you for being willing to do that.
And some people aren't comfortable having 2 different entities manage them. If a person has to see the world in very black and white terms, they're in deep trouble in a job like this. Mary goes to staff meetings at our place and their place. Bonnie the same. You have to be comfortable with a whole lot of ambiguity, and takes a certain personality profile.
Along that same line, Cos Edwards, Benton Franklin WDC. When your business retention person knocks on that door, after they depart, is there an indication that that person has represented multiple agencies or one?
Bonnie, would you like to answer that?
One more. Okay, he's trying to take the mic away from me. So let me get my second one in, then you can take it, because I'm going to break out in song pretty soon.
Bummer.
You spoke about the Pub Talk. Is that correct? Pub Talk and Business Net. Are those functions that take place in conjunction with WorkSource? Okay.
No, they're between the EDCs and the WDCs. And we do not support those with WEA funds. Those are totally separate funds. Right now they're self-supporting. Yeah, I need to be very clear about that.
Okay. So what is the connection between the things that you've been discussing and WorkSource?
When I looked around the state of Washington at where we were going to find our next big employers, and I looked at who the big employers were, the light bulb went on that they were not businesses that were recruited to the state of Washington. They were businesses that grew here. And you got to start sometime. So this is doing work for WorkSource 3 or 4 years or more ahead of that demand. We need to be invested in growing those businesses in our community. We've got a major stake in that. So there have been some hires through some of the Pub Talk companies that have been growing through Pub Talk. Some of the companies have been capitalized through that relationships developed in that process, but it's a long-term investment. Unfortunately, our systems tend to be geared towards short-term results, but that's not how the economy works. So, and as to the multiple versus individual, Bonnie, go for it.
Sure. This is how I usually introduce myself. Hello, Mr. President. I'm Bonnie Moore, Director of Business Services for the Columbia River Economic Development Council and the Southwest Washington Workforce Development Council. And then they get a blank stare. And that's usually how it goes. They don't remember my acronym, the acronyms I work for, or the partners I eventually introduce to the table. They just know that we work together to add value. And if they have a question or about who to call or who's the right person to call, they call me. And at the end of the day, we do try to drive home that value with the different organizations and partners that were involved in the effort. But the fact of the matter is businesses don't remember the 10 agencies they worked with. And one client described it to me best as, I just see that you guys work for different departments of the same organization. And I said, that's exactly how we should be doing it. And if they don't remember our various different departments, but they remember we're there as a resource to help them grow and create jobs, then we've done our job.
Hi, Jessica Neal Smith with Workforce Central in Tacoma, Washington. And my question might be more directed to Bonnie. I'm interested about this 50-member group that you have wrangled together. How did you get past the whole trust issue and also maintaining that high-level standard of customer service amongst all the partners?
Well, I can't take credit for it. We have great leadership, and before I came on board, Lisa and Bart already incubated this effort, and so it was just a matter of continuing it and taking it to the next level when I came on board last year. One of the, you learn always by trial and error, and with that large of a group, it's hard to have common conversations, especially in an hour and a half's time every 2 months. So one of the things we started to do was to quickly focus on it being an educational opportunity for us to educate each other about what businesses were facing and what resources were out there and how we can work together. We picked a topic for every single meeting, from streamlined permitting to marketing, Clark County to capital access for small business. We had 2 of our partner organizations do a quick pitch at the beginning of each meeting. We had a subject matter expert speak to the topic at hand, and then we invited a business to spend half an hour talking about their experience. For example, the streamlined permitting issue, if they took them 6 months to get a sign up and before they could complete their building and hire 5 new people, they talked about that entire experience and what it was like working with the government agencies and the various partners and the struggles they ran into. And that has been the biggest in building that trust, because we realize we have a common goal. If we don't create jobs, the businesses do, and if we don't educate ourselves on what obstacles they're facing, it doesn't matter what we try to sell them or how we try to help them, they're not gonna hear what we have to offer. So I think that has been the biggest, just letting the businesses speak for themselves.
Bonnie, let me also say that early on, Bonnie did what sort of seemed like a training seminar when you went. And she ultimately in that session had people sitting at tables solve a problem. They were all given the same problem,
They
right?
were given a case study, which is a combination of 5 different companies. And we had higher education at the table, we had ports, utilities, transportation, chambers, WorkSource, the colleges, and each of them sat at their own tables, and they gravitate towards the people they know at each of the tables. Each of the tables were given the same case study, and they were They had some time to work on what solutions they would bring to the table. The solutions that they brought to the table depend on who sat at the table. And so that was really eye-opening when everyone shared and found out they had the exact same case study, and yet they had very different solutions that they would have presented to the business.
And
so
the fact that
yeah.
all the solutions were pretty interesting and that the combination of solutions would have worked for the company, but the individual solutions, maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
But I think that's that sort of aha moment where people realized that, oh yeah, we do have something in common with each other. We're working with businesses as a whole. Let's cooperate. And I think that was a pivotal moment for that group.
And Lisa's jogging my memory a little bit. We also made it fun. Instead of just talking, we made it very interactive and talked about all the parking lot ideas we felt were important to business growth, and we voted on them with monopoly money. And that kind of helped to bring together some consensus on what we as a community serving the businesses felt were most important.
Hey, Bonnie. My name is Tiffany Scroggs. I work for the Thurston Economic Development Council. And I remember being at that meeting, and that type of exercise was great to build trust and to interact with people and see how we can all solve the same problem in different ways. I've been working really hard to collaborate with the 5-county region I serve as a Procurement Technical Assistance Center, PTAC program. And one of the barriers that we've come up against that I wanted to ask the panelists about is related to confidentiality. My funder, the Department of Defense, takes that extremely seriously, and we go to great lengths to protect that. And I know that's the same in the Economic Development Council world as well. So have you run into any challenges with that, and how do you overcome them?
I don't think we, I guess it's nothing new for us that there are two trains of thought. One is you share information with people you trust and you make damn sure you can trust them. And the other is you give goofy code names to projects. Whichever one you want, we'll go with that. You just have to be very, very clear about which it is. Because if you share a name of a company or a situation with a company and we go home and talk to a spouse about it and you didn't tell us that that was confidential, oops.
And we try to stay away from the goofy code names. We're very serious at the Cowlitz EDC. We use numbers. But whenever I'm with a client, existing or a recruitment project, I always just ask. You know, if they start asking me for help, then I start asking, can I share this with someone who can help you? You know, and I just make it really clear that we're not going to broadcast this, but I am going to have to tell some people if you want this specific help. And usually people say, fine. I think we're good. Thanks, everybody.